Good morning, GCA. Welcome to chapel. I'm Mr. Jackson coming to you live from my car, which is parked. This has been a little bit of a weird week, and the only place I could find that was quiet in the time that I could find to film was in the afternoon out in my car. So you see the elementary car line pulling up out there behind me. And so I've got, I think, is a great message for you today. This is Kindness Week. You might have heard it announced or seen some signs up. Mrs. Bauschek has mentioned it during morning announcements. And so I want to talk today about kindness. It's my opinion that kindness kind of automatically sounds cheesy. Like as soon as someone starts telling you to be kind, people tend to turn off. Like, I don't know why. Maybe they've heard it too many times. Maybe they feel guilty for not being kind and they don't want to be called out on it. Maybe there's some other factor I don't know about, but it's just it doesn't seem like a topic people are like, ooh, I can't wait to hear about this one, in the same way they might like to hear one about maybe patience or maybe loving others, or even persevering through trials. I think something about kindness smacks of like little kid talk. Like, yeah, it's what you tell kindergartners, and then you don't, once you get past a certain age, you don't need to be told that anymore. And I don't think that's true. There's a great Bible verse that I think really speaks to what kindness is supposed to be. And I'm going to read that to you. It's very short, just 6 words from Romans chapter 12, verse 10. Romans 12:10. Outdo one another in showing honor. Outdo one another in showing honor. A pastor that I like to listen to preach, Andy Stanley, said it this way: true love is a race to the back of the line. And I think that's the exact sentiment he was going for. Outdo one another in showing honor. Kindness, I think, is against our nature. There's something in us that says, I think maybe I'm supposed to be a god, or definitely a ruler of some things. I don't owe anyone anything. I'm on my own. I have to make my own way in the world. And kindness seems to go the opposite direction. It says I can care about others. I can stop and maybe lower myself and help someone who needs help. I don't have to just take care of my own needs. And I think there's something about that that attitude that can be hard to overcome at first. The great thing is, I do believe kindness is something that comes as a result of a habit that's formed. The kinder you are, the kinder you become. And I think that is something we have to learn, almost like learning your manners or something in that vein. Now, GCA is a pretty kind place. I can remember as a kid in middle school and maybe even in high school, walking around with my books and guarding them, like feeling like at any moment somebody was going to knock them out of my arms in the hall, or steal my pencil, or just mess with my stuff. And I felt that way because it was true. It happened to people around me. It happened to me. I did that to people. If somebody had dropped their books in the hall during a passing period when I was in school, I think chances are someone would have kicked it on purpose, and no one would have really stopped to help. That would have been an extreme outlier if somebody had immediately stopped. At GCA, I feel like it's on the opposite. People almost fight to help others pick up things when they drop them. In general, there's a kindness that's evident in our halls that's awesome to see, and it's one of the reasons I love working here and love that my kids go here, and want to recommend GCA to people, is the kindness of the students overall. I think that it's tricky because I think people sometimes feel like they should be kind because they feel it deep in their heart, and if they don't really care, then they don't feel like they should do that because it's like not genuine. And I just think that's wrong. I think you learn how to be kind by just telling yourself to do it, and in time you will grow to not only do it more and often, but to love it. And it's just really, the thing about kindness is that's it. There's no reward. You're not getting paid for it. And as soon as you are, then it's not really kindness, it's work and or a reward of some task. And kindness is really for no other reason than just to offer yourself to others. Somebody else needs something. I found a great quote about kindness. I'll read it here. Kindness begins with understanding that we all struggle. I think that is a home run. We never know what kind of day people have had. We don't know what stresses they may be under. We don't know how they feel, what insecurities they have, maybe what they've been struggling with or what they've been made fun of before about. We don't know what happened that morning with their parents. We just don't know, but we do know that everyone struggles. And if we can have that perspective of just erring on the side of kindness, of thinking everyone struggles, and it would sure be nice to receive kindness at times in our lives, that we should give that freely, and that it should almost be like a race. Like I like it that people compete in the hall to pick up somebody else's books. That's a good sign. Outdoing one another in showing honor and giving honor puts someone else in front of you, and that's tough to do. We live in a world that says take your own stuff, demand your own whatever you want, whatever makes you happy. And kindness says, you don't have to do this. This person may not deserve it. In fact, they probably don't deserve your kindness. That doesn't mean you shouldn't give it, because everyone's struggling and everyone has issues. I know I've used this illustration, this story before, and so pardon me if you've heard it, but I haven't used it in this way. A couple years ago, especially, I talked to our school, our staff, about culture building at GCA, and I compared two cultures, the Taco Bell culture and the Chick-fil-A culture. Both those are restaurants I love deeply. I don't know which one I like more, honestly, the food-wise. Don't get mad at me about that. They're both really delicious. But the culture of service, of kindness at Taco Bell isn't there typically. I can remember a family dinner there, and one of the boys wanted more food, and so we sent him back up to get another taco. And from the time they sat back down with the receipt, which had a time printed on it, to the time we got the taco was 16 minutes. There was no one in line inside the building. No one. Now, I've made enough tacos to know that you could open a package of hamburger, brown it, drain it, season it, stir it, and pretty much make a whole batch of tacos in about 16 minutes. It was just as though they didn't care. And there was no honor. I'm not sure they were trying to be unkind. It was just felt like, okay, I see where I rank here. You really just don't care about this. Contrast that with Chick-fil-A, where they somehow convince you, even though you know that maybe this can't really be true, but in their heart that they are genuinely excited to give you a ketchup packet, that it really is their pleasure. And I don't know if it is or not. And I know they don't have to say those things. They're just encouraged to. But I think that's the trick. It's a culture. That culture breeds more of the same culture. And if you're in a world where can't wait to serve someone, do you need a refill? Can I get that for you? More Chick-fil-A sauce? That's what I want to be. I want just when people interact with me or my family or GCA, that they think to themselves, wow, this place is like falling down to help me. They didn't even ask for it. I didn't pay them. I don't think I'd probably deserve it. What's that all about? I think that's the model Jesus calls us to, is to race each other, to outdo each other, to show honor to others. And so I just really want to encourage you to look for those opportunities today. How can you be kind? You don't have to, and you're not doing it because someone deserves it or you're saying they're better than you. Just small things can make a big difference in showing someone they have value and worth. So that is my message for you today. Again, the verse, outdo one another in showing honor. I hope that's something that is always said of GCA, that we are racing each other to the back of the line that we are trying to outserve each other, and not that we do it just because somebody told you to do it, but that because you recognize that Christ himself dishonored himself by lowering himself to go through the sufferings of our life and then a terrible death, and that if he can do that, then the least I can do is show a small act of kindness to those around me. So GCA will be a better place because of that. And I challenge you today to find something, some way to really be kind to others. That's all I have to say. I hope you have an awesome day, and be kind. Thanks.